the set and everything. Yeah.
Hi everybody, Sonia Rollins here for BACC Talk. I am excited to talk all things finances, I guess, today, with a little bit of community mixed in. Introduce yourself for everybody.
I am Lou Dolan, managing partner of the Northeast Investment Group.
Great.
Right here in Burlington, 20 Mall Road.
Great. How long have you been in Burlington, Lou?
It's going on 3 years this summer.
Nice.
So we're independent financial planners who, when we were looking for a home, we said, you know what, no one wants to go downtown anymore.
Right.
Burlington's probably the perfect community mix of business and, still the families.
I love that you said that. So, since we're talking Burlington, let's start with the whole community and the Burlington philosophy first.
Sure.
And I have so much to ask you on finances, but we'll save that for a little bit because we've got some time, right?
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
But you said you chose Burlington because nobody, it almost functions a little bit like a city. We know it's a town, but it functions in that it gives everybody all of those amenities without going in to. But you chose it. And talk about a little bit why community matters. Like why, when you're choosing something as a business, why do you pick a certain community or why you want to be involved in it?
Yeah, I'd say where we were before was pretty much Medford, Malden, and downtown Boston.
Yeah.
So COVID happened, coming out of COVID, and then forming this business and becoming independent, we had the opportunity to choose.
Right.
Go downtown, high-rise buildings, stay in Medford, or think of something else.
Yeah.
And we thought of Burlington.
Great.
We know the businesses, we know it's growing, but there's also the community underlying.
Yes.
With the families. It's not just businesses like downtown. There's, actual doors and, families and, the schools, and community was a big part of it, especially our business.
Right.
It's mostly retirees.
Okay.
And families that we help, and helping them plan for retirement, look out for the market, tax planning, things like that. So
yeah. So and it's clear, like when we were discussing it before we started the show, and you have a young family yourself, so you know the value of community.
Yes.
And in that same vein that people have a family that they either work for or work with, you also have a community, a network of businesses,
right.
Which ties me beautifully into the chamber.
That's right.
So talk to me about being a member. Thank you, by the way, for being a member.
Sure.
I think it's always so helpful to have all different members involved.
It's a pleasure. And we came about the chamber, like I said, when we chose Burlington and we first hung our shingle, so to speak, we said, you know what, we should join the chamber. We didn't know what to expect.
Yeah.
And we met Rick Parker.
Yeah.
And fell in love, let's say. Rick Parker really took us under his wing, helped us from the beginning. We wanted to get involved in the community and really just, look to become a part of it, not just look for, whether it's, leads or referrals, or it was really to ingrain ourselves in the community.
Right.
We knew other things would come later from it, but
right.
Rick Parker was a big part of that, and the chamber has been amazing to us. Yeah.
The value of networking. What, do you see, I could answer this all day long, so
right.
Let's talk about this a little bit. The chamber, I think when a community sees a chamber of commerce, they see, what the business component of it is. But the beauty of the chamber, I think, in this community is that whole networking thing. Talk a little bit about the value of, people always say, are there too many of a business? So for you, is there too many financial advisors in town?
No, there's plenty, because there's someone for everyone.
Yes, I love that.
And we work together. And if there's another advisor in the chamber, we're looking to collaborate and say, what's working? How are you helping your clients? What do you think about the market? How about this tax strategy? So we're working together because there's plenty of capacity for all of us. Yeah. So it's not really a cutthroat thing. And then with the other businesses, they've actually become like family. Yeah. The first networking PM or networking AM I went to, I didn't know anyone. Now I go in and it's, hey, it's family, and it's really a friendly environment.
It's a nice way to be able to tell your clients if they need somebody else. You've now met them almost personally.
Right.
You're able to say, not only do I know what they do, but I know the type of person they are.
Right.
And I think you said it perfectly, because I'm in real estate and there's a lot of us, right?
Yes.
But like you said, there is a person for every there's a personality for every person that needs help, right? And each person needs that.
And
So
if you know you're doing the right thing
Yeah.
for your clients,
Yes,
then it will come back in tenfold.
I love that. Okay, so let's talk about the right thing for your clients. People know what financial advisors do, of course, but
Yes.
tell us a little bit about what your company does.
So, yeah, I'd like to, there's a lot of misconceptions, I'd say, about our business.
Yes.
And it's gotten a bad name from a lot of the great movies out there over time. But now really what it's about is planning for the future. And really that involves taxes and tax planning. That's been a really big topic lately. Second would probably be estate planning and protection. Families are worried about estate planning, wills, trusts. Should they protect their home? Should they protect their assets? Leaving a legacy, charitable giving. So, our business is not just about picking stocks and, mutual funds. It's more than that now. It starts with understanding the families. We also talk about something relational. It's very relational.
Yeah.
So we're actually kind of relational advisors where we understand the family, what you're going through, what you want for your family, and then that evolves into financial planning, and then investments are kind of not secondary. They're important to grow the money, but it's more about the family.
You have to understand what their goal is.
What their goals and dreams are.
And everybody's goals are different.
Yeah, and it sounds cheesy, but it is really a thing. You really do need to understand the goals and dreams.
It actually doesn't. I mean, I think when people hear something like this, it's almost a relief because, like you said, sometimes people assume I don't go to a financial advisor because I don't have that kind of wealth.
Right.
Whatever someone wants to define as that kind of wealth, they don't have it, right?
Right.
So speak to that a little bit. Is there a threshold, Lou? Is there
No.
like I need a financial advisor
Especially in this
threshold?
community. If someone
Yes.
calls us from, out of state, then
Yeah.
maybe, but
Yeah.
in this community or connection to the chamber, absolutely not.
Yeah.
We spoke about this at a lunch and learn that we did for the chamber, but really what it is anyone who comes to us, we're going to absolutely point them in the right direction,
Yeah.
even if they're not a good fit. So the first conversation could just be what we call a discovery. We want to
Yes.
get to know you. What are your goals? And make sure we're the right fit for each other.
Yes.
And then from there, it's okay. We think with all of our tools, resources, and the fees, that we would add value to your situation.
Yeah.
So it's all about adding, if we can add value to the client's situation.
Right.
If not, we might send them to Fidelity down the street or Charles Schwab, where they can start there and kind of grow into more planning needs and estate planning needs and things like that. So
just to kind of tie into that a little
Sure.
bit more, let's just say someone who's already done their estate planning or someone who's already done a portion of that. You marry in with that at that point, correct?
yes, and we are in contact with maybe their estate planning attorney
Yes.
or their CPA, and making sure we're kind of the center point
Yes.
for all of their professionals.
Yes.
And coordinating that. Because if you think about it, you go to an estate planning attorney, they draft the will, they get the trust going. You don't see them again unless you have a problem.
Correct.
What we're doing is reviewing every year, speaking, seeing if there's any changes in your life,
Yeah.
and making sure. And then on the tax side, it's more annual kind of checkups, making sure, and on a yearly basis, just making sure that we're the point focal person that you would come to and say, I'm having this issue, what do I do? Okay, let's conference in the estate planning attorney or the CPA and make sure we're all on the same page.
Okay. And again, I want to say this because I think we all have that misconception. There's no wrong time to talk to a financial advisor. It's not
No.
like, hey, you're 50, go do this. Hey, you're 20. Is there like an age, like if you would say to somebody, you really should think about investing, is there an age that hits that
We always
point?
say it's never too early, but
Yeah.
and you see a lot of these, the younger kids nowadays are really savvy with it. There's a lot of
Yes.
online stuff, but there's a lot of bad information online as well. TikTok is a lot of bad information. But I'd say the sweet spot for age where you can really start to look at things is probably 45 to 55 years old.
Yeah.
But most of our clients come to us when it's 60, 62, because now they're starting to think Social Security, Medicare, turning on pensions,
Yes.
how does it all work? Where's my income coming from? So Yeah, I'd say most people come 60 to 62, kind of around
Yeah,
that number.
that age,
Yeah,
right?
but 45 is kind of those are the planners that are really thinking, I want to retire early, I want to stuff as much money as way and grow it and be organized.
Okay. All right. All of that makes me like, I think people listen, they get like tight.
A little anxious.
Anxious, tight in the body.
That's what we hopefully relieve. Yes.
Yes. But you know what else relieves that? When you get to go to a physical therapist to take care of your body and your wellness. Our Chamber Spotlight today is on Keep It Moving, Wellness and Physical Therapy. We went over and saw these great ladies. They have great energy. We're going to take you over there right now, and we'll be right back. Hi, everybody. Sonia Rollins for Chamber Spotlight. We're excited to be at Burlington Mill Road today at Keep It Moving, Physical Therapy and Wellness. Join us as we talk to the ladies about all of the different things that physical therapy and massage therapy can do to keep you healthy or get you better. Join us. Ladies, I'm excited to be here. So, I was saying when I came in, it's really neat because your title has physical therapy and wellness. Talk about the marriage of those two things a little bit, if you could.
With physical therapy, you think, okay, my shoulder hurts, I need to go get it checked out. And, we can absolutely help you get out of pain. And some cases are different than others, and sometimes it takes a long time to get out of pain. Sometimes it doesn't take that long at all. But what we offer is the ability to take it the next steps further. So not only do we help you get out of pain, but also you can be more confident in getting back to the activities that you love.
And when you say when they're in pain, when is that point when someone thinks, I really should come and see somebody in a place like this?
When you first experience pain, if it doesn't go away in a couple of days and then you start to notice that's prohibiting you from doing certain movements, activities, that's when you should come. Britt or Kalila, the physical therapist of the practice, will come in, do a full body evaluation, and really fine tune the things that need to be worked on. And then you come back weekly, bi-weekly, whatever you need, and work on those things and essentially get better, out of pain, stronger, more resilient, and educated too. Because it's important for you to know what's going on and why, and what you can do to be in control of your pain.
Sometimes people think the first line of action is their doctor, right? So they're going to go to their doctor, they're going to tell them they have this pain, and then they're going to be referred to a physical therapist. If I'm hearing you correctly, if people are starting to feel a pain that doesn't feel quite right, they can come to you first.
Absolutely. So Massachusetts is a direct access state. And so what that means is any person can go to a licensed doctor of physical therapy to get evaluated without having to see their doctor, their primary care physician, or a specialist or an orthopedist. And I think that's a misconception, that they think that they need to wait however many weeks it takes to sometimes see their primary to get that referral, that stamp of approval to then come see us. We're direct access. So you can wake up and have a certain pain that you want identified, and you can call us and you can come in, day of, as long as we have availability.
Talk about how massage therapy really helps not only prevent needing physical therapy, but also marries with it.
So the massage therapy that we practice here, we call it like orthopedic. So I blend my physical therapy experience with my 11 years of massage therapy experience, and we talk. I get your history, what's going on now, and anything else that you may have forgotten that comes up that's going to give me the details to better understand your body and provide that treatment. That way we can have that discussion of what I think is happening, how it correlates to your pain, and other ways that you are perhaps inhibited from certain things. And then blending the two is like, okay, great, I'm glad that you're out of pain, you feel better now, you're more mobile, but how do we keep this? Because massage isn't going to just keep this. So that's where the blend of the physical therapy comes into play.
Ladies, talk to me about, there's always different areas of physical therapy that are either coming forward or something that people are paying attention to more. Talk about some of the specialties you have in here.
A specialty we have here besides orthopedic physical therapy is that we also practice pelvic floor physical therapy. So Kalila is our pelvic floor PT, and her and I then co-treat with their pelvic health program. So we address issues such as incontinence, breathing dysfunction, painful sex, any type of leaking, diastasis, which is abdominal separation during pregnancy. We help with prenatal rehab, postnatal rehab. If you want to just stay strong through your pregnancy, any type of pregnant demographic is who we work with to just kind of bring more awareness to the pelvic floor world, because it is an underserved demographic.
I think there's something really important to be said in that sometimes some of these things are almost perceived as embarrassing,
Right.
a shame. I can't say that because that's not a normal thing for people, but what you're saying is, even things that feel like, should this be happening or is this normal to happen, that's something they could come to you on.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like these things do happen to our bodies as we age or go through pregnancy. or the postpartum experience. It's like, it's normal, but we can treat it.
Okay.
It's not something you have to live with.
I hope you enjoyed our time at Keep It Moving today as much as I did. If anything, we've learned that physical therapy is so much more than just an injury. It's about keeping your body healthy, keeping it moving, and making sure that you take care of yourself before, after, and during any injuries. For Chamber Spotlight, I'm Sonia Rollins. I want to do this.
Right.
Just move this along. All right, I was just saying, this is like, those ladies had some unbelievable energy.
They did.
It was
great.
really
great.
It's impressive. You walk in there feeling like, I think I'm stretched enough, and then you're like, well, maybe I could do a little more for myself.
And I said I could use some of that right now. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. So let's talk about that a little bit for you, because
My stress, right.
your stress.
All of our stress.
Yes. Well, now you said something, all of our stress. But talk a little bit about, obviously it's no secret, we're in a little bit of a uncertain time for the stock market.
Sure.
So, talk about that a little bit. A client calls you and says, oh my God, then what do you say?
Yeah, we've gotten a lot of those phone calls lately. So these are the times. 2022 was a really, really tough year in the market. Mm-hmm. If we remember back, Russia invaded Ukraine. Interest rates, inflation was still high. Interest rates the Fed had to raise interest rates, so the market kind of came straight down. But then 2023, 24 were really, really good.
Yes.
All of a sudden, now we've got tariffs and we've got a lot of real changes going through with the new administration, and clients are calling worried.
Yes.
So, what we do to try to kind of ease their, anxiety is really just go back to their financial plan, understand, making sure that most of them are long-term investors.
Yes.
And what we talk about are buckets of money strategies. You have some short-term money, maybe 1 to 3 years, usually cash, CDs, or bonds.
Yes.
You have some middle 5 to 7 year, and then you have your longer stock market money. Obviously, the market's rough right now. It's pulled back from its all-time highs, 10 to 13% approximately. But we tell clients, as long as you're diversified, a diversified portfolio is taking half the risk of the S&P 500.
Speak to that a little bit, Lou, if you wouldn't mind, because I think people who are watching, it's interesting when you say diversified. You mentioned it a little bit, but so when you diversify somebody's portfolio,
Sure.
What does that look like to
It's
the average
after we
person?
get to know you,
Yes.
well, as I mentioned, that discovery and understanding you, your goals, your needs, your family. We're understanding also your risk tolerance.
Yes.
And if we understand your risk tolerance, and that takes some time to work through, but most of our clients we've been with quite a while, it's understanding how you feel in these times like these.
Yes.
And making sure that when you have a diversified portfolio, it's risk-based,
Yes.
meaning we're not going to be 100% in the S&P 500 because you don't want to see those swings. Every time you see the news, down 1,000 points, you're thinking, how much am I down? In a diversified portfolio, it just smooths that out.
Yes.
So you might have 15 years to retirement. We know a certain portion of your money is going to fluctuate and be longer term, but we're going to have a bucket of money that's kind of your under the mattress money, so to speak.
And does that money fluctuate with the marketplace? Like
No.
No.
So that would be sleep at night. I know I have X amount here for emergencies, or if the market's down for a year, 2 years, or 3 years, you have those cash reserves that could cover any expenses.
Yeah.
So.
And this, for people watching, and we both know this. Give me the history of stocks. This is not,
This is not new.
This is not new, but also it's not politics per se either. Of course,
Correct.
Administrations deal with whatever, and we're not here to discuss any of that because everybody lies on different areas,
Right.
and that's fine.
Right.
But the real question is, have you seen this before?
Yes.
Let's say it that way.
That's a good question. And pre-election, we had a lot of conversation about what happens if Republican wins, Democrat, and
You mean with clients?
Yes.
Okay.
Historically, the S&P 500 or the overall stock market has gone up over time.
Yeah.
Historically, no matter who's in office. So it doesn't matter. The markets do go up over time.
Yeah.
Because what you're investing in, if you think about the S&P 500 alone, are the 500, best companies out there.
Yes.
And they're making money, they're earning money, they're all the names you know and that are out there. So those companies are making money as long as we've got a good, strong economy, people are working, spending, and globally, as with AI, things are continuing to increase, and the market will continue to grow over time.
Over time. So
Yeah.
it is really about how long you're in it for.
Time horizon, for sure. If
Yeah.
you're going to buy a house and see Sonia to buy a house,
Yes.
in a year, we would never have you invest. We'd have you in something now, after a long stretch, you can finally have a money market with a decent rate, or a
Yes.
CD, around
They've gotten
4%, much better.
Yeah.
So you can park that money there, and we'll do that for you, or some special expense, whether it's a wedding or something. That money gets earmarked in our short-term cash safety bucket. That's your safe spot. But there's also going to be a portion of money that's going to be the longer term that we'll rebalance it a few times a year, but we're really thinking, don't worry about it, don't look at it, it's going to grow. It's diversified. It's not just one stock.
Okay. All right. I feel a little better.
Like TikTok.
I feel a little better. I want to go like this for a minute. Right, like TikTok, right. So I have two more questions that I really want to make sure I ask, because X amount of years ago, my son said to me, we got to buy Bitcoin. And I was like this, Alec, that's not even real money.
He's a kid. He doesn't know. Yeah,
I
what
said,
is it?
Buddy, please, that's
Right.
not even money you're talking about, right? But which one of us was right and which one of us was wrong? He lives in South Carolina, so he doesn't see BACC, so I'll now say it. He was right, I was wrong. But I do want to ask you, because it's real. What's more remarkable than the comment he made was that he knew.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm really impressed, given the fact that I'm in my 50s, and when I was his age, I certainly wasn't even close to thinking about stocks, nor if I should be investing.
Well, we had to open the Wall Street Journal and look in there and find it there. Now they have it in the palm of their hand.
So chat a little bit about that, the whole idea of the apps and not only kids, but I think a lot of people use an app and buy stocks with it.
Yeah,
What advice do you have?
I think it's good, but it can work two ways.
Yes.
They're learning. Hopefully, they're researching what they're investing in.
Yes.
So, they're light years ahead of where we were when we had to open the newspaper and figure it out on our own. But it also could be dangerous because, as we saw with the meme stock craze, and they made a movie about it, but AMC or all of these other stocks that just went all the way up and came all the way back down.
Right.
If they're buying, good, healthy companies that make money, that have good balance sheets, sure, go for it. They can buy. Trading, I'd say they should be educated on day trading. You can really get burned if you don't know what you're doing.
Yes.
So, and be careful, again, with TikTok, there's a lot of scams or, bad advisors giving bad advice or selling fraudulent insurance, type of thing. So you've got to be careful, know what you're looking for, do your due diligence, double check it. But yeah, it can be dangerous.
Okay, so you said something that I didn't even think about, but day trading is really different than just someone having an app and buying. I mean, you're talking about people who are going in and doing this every day and kind of like, oh, it's up and I'm selling and I'm down, and that's where they can get in trouble.
Right.
Because
so
now they're
the past year went straight up. It was, things were rolling up.
Yeah.
Buy Tesla, goes up,
Yes.
goes from 150 to 400. Feels good. All of a sudden, it comes all the way down in a month.
And your money's gone.
Yeah. And then you make the wrong decisions and you sell when it's down, and now you lost that money instead of staying invested. So that's where the diversified portfolio comes in.
Yes.
And we're not day traders.
Right.
We're really, it's kind of thinking about it like a cargo ship moving your money. Because we manage so much money,
Yes.
we can't be taking risk with families. I always just like to use the analogy of kind of the airline pilot.
Yes.
And my clients are in the back. We're trying to get them to their destination safely.
Yes.
So yeah, that's the way we kind of look at it.
Yes.
It's
So going back to what you said earlier, I guess, that there's no early time per se to come see a financial advisor. Where's that line, Lou? Where's the line from when, and you don't have to give me an exact answer, but in theory, where's that line of like, I have an app and I buy stocks.
Mm-hmm.
I don't necessarily day trade, but there I leave them. When does someone say like, well, now I really need someone to do this with me? I mean, do you find that's a personal thing? Do you find they come to you and say like, look what I have in here? Or,
yeah, I think what happens is the wealth or the wealth that they've created
yes.
starts to get to a balance where they're nervous to manage it on their own.
Yes.
You know, if your son has $10,000 in his online.
Does not, by the way. I mean, if he does, he hasn't told me, but go on. Yeah.
Then, and he's buying and selling. But once he starts to maybe have a family, kids, insurance, taxes,
yes.
Things like that, and then the values start to get into, those bigger numbers. You don't want to manage that yourself. You could make a mistake and lose half of your family's wealth.
Okay, got it. So it's really important for people to be able to come and physically sit down with you.
Absolutely.
It certainly doesn't hurt them to start and just come see you initially.
Right. We want to speak with everyone. We love, helping and really pointing in the right direction.
And I'm going to run out of time, but I do want to just say this. Even if someone has a 401k with their employer,
absolutely,
they still should come see you to talk about the rest of the holistic
That's where it
measure.
begins. Most plans start in the 401k, and then we manage it later.
Okay, I can't thank you enough for
Thank
coming.
you.
We're
Thank
a
you for
little
having
more
me.
calm now. We have to ride the wave, folks.
Come see me if you get nervous.
And you can go.
I might have a
see
line
if
out
you
the
get
door,
nervous.
though. Yeah.
Exactly. Tell everybody again where you are.
20 Mall Road, across from the Marriott.
And if someone wants to see you, they can call and make an
They
appointment.
can call, email. Our website is northeastinvestmentgroup.com.
Wonderful. Ludon, thank you so much for joining
Thank you, Sonia.
us. And I want to thank you all for joining us. We are looking forward to bringing you more in the future. And I always want to remind everybody, kindness matters. For Back Talk, I'm Sonia Rollins. Okay, I think we're out. We're going to sit here.